think we are.
Hi guys.
Hey everybody. I hope we're live.
Yeah, we got people commenting.
I know when this new system that we're using, it's so hard to see if we're live or not live. So hopefully we are. Hopefully everybody's here and we can start answering some questions for everybody. We had to run and grab some food really quick. We were just barely on a live and had to run and are we up there? Oh, sweet, we are. Okay.
We're cruising. How's everybody doing tonight?
We have not done a live in a hot minute, so we decided to just do a live and see how everybody's doing and maybe give you guys an update on what we've been up to, because man, our lives have been crazy the last little bit.
Hi Lindsay.
And so we thought we would, oh geez, how are you doing, son? You good?
Yeah, I was bringing in my speaker so everybody can hear me.
Yeah. Oh, hi Vicky from Australia. Wow. Yeah, hopefully this is good. We just did a live over on Cults to Consciousness. So if anybody, I did an interview with them that talking about some of our origin stories, like where we came from, all that fun stuff. And so she wanted to do a live, and we did that. And so we decided to come and do a live over here too, because it's been a minute since we have had an opportunity to come and do a live. So gosh, yeah, we got a ton of people on there. Hi Tanya, Sarah. Yeah, we got a lot of people.
Peyton.
Nice.
Hello.
Yeah. So we've been we'll give you guys like a little update of our lives. So we have been, everyone knew that a lot of our followers knew that we had gone to Montana for a funeral, and we came back and we got home late Tuesday night, and then by Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock we had my mom here. And then so I just wanted to kind of give everyone a little bit of an update about how my mom is doing. So she is doing so much better. She came to our house and we noticed that she was really not doing well. And we watched her that whole night, and then by Thursday morning we decided that we needed to take her into the emergency room, which she did, which we are so grateful that we took her in. The doctor said if we hadn't brought her in that day, she would not have made it. So so our lives have been all about mom for the last little bit, healing and helping her and trying to get just like everything done. So she spent 8 days in the hospital, and then she came and lived with us for a month. So this is why we have not done our lives as much. We've been in all things healing and working with my mom to try to help her to get better. She did end up going home. She lives about 2 hours away from all of her children. So she went home a week ago, and she just got the okay from her doctor to be able to drive again. And she will be back up here for another surgery in June, in a couple weeks in June. And so yeah, she's doing so much better. But it was pretty scary there for a minute. So yeah, the last month I feel like we just went. The last like what would you say, like 6 weeks have just gotten away from us. It feels like that's all we've been doing is, taking care of
people and doing some videos, but
yeah, trying to catch up with our channel.
Needing to get on live and talk to our people or say hi to everybody. I haven't said hi to everybody for a while, so
yeah.
Ontario, Canada.
So we've been getting my mom's been getting tons of well wishes, and she just wanted everybody to know she really appreciates that. She might be on this live. We have a niece that's graduating high school right now, so she might be on the live in a little bit, but yeah, she really appreciates all the well wishes that everybody sent her, and she is doing so much better. She's not quite out of the woods yet, but she is like from night and day. But yeah, when we got home from Montana and we saw her for the first time, both of us were in a panic, like what in the heck is happening here? So it was pretty intense. Oh yeah. Okay, Sarah says we'd love to see the Montana footage. Are you guys going to make videos of that? Yes, we will get back to that.
We're working on that right now. So
yeah.
I got to go do all my overlay and be pointing, this is where we grew up, this is where the trailer is, all of that stuff. Because a lot of the footage we just took driving through and didn't really tell everybody what's going on. We were being sneaky, taking some of the footage. So
although people did see us,
not too sneaky,
and they were like, somebody's driving through Pineville taking pictures and taking videos. So so that was funny. But yeah, we haven't had a chance to sit down and do that. I swear we will, though. I promise we will start catching up. I promise. Like, we started doing our YouTube and our TikTok channels, and I feel like they started to take off, right? And it's then all of a sudden needs from our family members started popping up right and left, and so we have been trying to catch up. Somebody says, have any of the sister wives on TLC reached out to you since you started covering the show? Yeah, we've had a couple. Yeah, a couple people have. And let's see, I've talked to a couple of them who...
Everybody reaches out to Melanie. I don't...
No, and I've never asked anybody to come on to our channel because we are so brand new at all of this and we're just kind of learning. So I have never asked anybody. I don't know. If they asked me to, then maybe I would have them on, but we haven't really gotten to the point where we feel like would be good interviewers yet, and so we haven't done that. But yeah, we definitely, maybe one day. I don't know. Haven't asked them yet. So yeah, thank you guys all for the well wishes on my mom. Yep, she is getting so much better.
Welcome, Share Bear.
And somebody says, do you think Robin wears garments? At the beginning, yes. Well, before she married Cody, no. After she married Cody, yes. But now you can tell that they've all removed their garments and none of them wear them anymore. You can tell because they all have the short sleeves and low necklines, things like that. And so, yeah, I don't think they wear them anymore at all. I don't think Robin wears them at all either.
Yeah, that's part of leaving the AUB is no longer wearing their fancy underwear. So.
Share Bear says, hello everyone, this is my first live I've ever attended. This is exciting. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we haven't done a live for gosh, it's probably been 4 weeks since we've done a live. I would like to get back into doing lives. We were doing them every Monday evening for the longest time, and I'd like to get back into doing them on Monday nights. Let's see, what is a garment? So the garment is going to be, it's something that the Mormon church, the LDS church, Church of Jesus Christ, whatever they're calling themselves now, when you go through the temple, you are given a set of what they call garments, and they're a clothing or an underwear type that you wear next to your skin. So you wear your bras over the top of them, your underwear over the top of them. They're supposed to be right next to your skin. And in the AUB, how you can tell is they come all the way up to your top of your neckline, to your wrists, and down to your ankles. The LDS Church, however, has changed theirs. So now, I believe they just came out with a tank top one.
No, okay.
But yeah,
it's a remembrance of the covenants you made within their temple ceremony, and so you're supposed to wear your garment so that you always remember the covenants you made within the temple. And so most people who will wear their garments 24/7. So after they've come out of the temple, and it can be a status thing too of, hey, you've been in the temple too. I can see you're wearing a garment. So
it's a controversial thing online too, because there's a lot of influencers online who are Mormon influencers, and they get called out all the time because they wear clothes that don't appear that you could wear your garments with them. In the AUB though, it's really hard. I wore them for almost 10 years, and I mean, it's hot in the summertime. It's hot. And especially being I'm 6 feet 2 inches, that was even hard to find clothes that I could wear to accommodate those. Gosh, we have so many people from all over. We got some New York. Can't wear garments in a bikini. No, most Mormons don't wear, or LDS people don't wear their garments when they're swimming. A lot of polygamous people just don't wear swimming suits. They just swim in their clothes, or they swim in more modest clothing. So they don't have a lot of that. I personally would wear a swimming suit. I'd go to the pool in my garments, and then I'd go to the changing room, change into my swimming suit, go swim, come back, change back into my garments, and then go home. It was a process.
When I was growing up in the AUB, we didn't have swimming pools or
They had lakes.
ponds.
They would swim in the ponds.
And down the river.
Yeah.
And so most of the current kids didn't want to get in trouble for going swimming. You could always, so we skinny dipped a lot. So, and then got in our dry clothes and went back home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I wore my garments for almost 10 years while I was married to my first husband. Cory has never worn garments. He never went through the church, never went through the temple, never went through the...
I never went to any temple. I didn't go through the Mormon temple or the AUB temple.
Yeah,
so.
And the AUB temple is very similar process to the Mormon temple. The ceremonies are supposed to be very, very the same, and the process is pretty much the same. Let's see, somebody says, how many pairs of garments would somebody usually own? It depended really on, I think I owned probably 7 or 8 pair, one for every day of the week, and just washed them and rotated through them. Especially like if you're nursing or something like that, it gets a little, you want a little bit more because, yeah, I mean, they're just basically like your regular underwear that you would need to wash and keep clean. Go ahead. What?
Cory, do you still talk to Robin's brother? I talk to him around Christmas time, so usually reach out. And,
is that when we ran into him at the store?
Yeah,
He
so
lives down the street
right
from us here,
so,
where we live now.
We text. We both share the same birthday. You're both.
So you're both like, hey,
Yeah,
buddy,
happy birthday! Happy birthday to you too. So yeah, we were both born on the very same day. So yeah, he's a couple hours older than me.
Was he born into the AUB? Was his mom a part of the AUB at the time, or
I
did
don't
they
think so.
convert in?
Yeah, I think they converted in.
Gotcha. I was just wondering if the same doctor delivered both of you.
No.
The same doctor
No.
delivered both Cory and I, just a couple of years apart because Cory's older than me.
No, I started hanging out with him probably when we were 7 or 8. So.
Yeah.
So his older sister was a teenager when they came and stayed with us, and then I'd always go down there and hang out with them after that.
Right.
We became good friends when we were kids, so.
Right. And he's her brother from a different mother, so
Yeah.
he's from the first wife, and Robin was from the second wife.
Yeah, I never hung, when that family married in, I mean, they lived separate anyhow, so I never really hung out with that part of the family. Just him and his mom go down there and hang out, and then about the time I left, he was leaving too. And then we just kept in touch with each other.
Yeah.
Over the years, because we share the same birthday and hang out a lot. So.
And now he lives down here in Utah. We live in the Salt Lake Valley in Utah, and he lives just in the same city we live in, which is weird. Somebody says, are your garments itchy and do they bunch up as you walk? That would drive me crazy. They do. Especially because they're full length. They're not 2 separate pieces. They're full. So they're like a jumpsuit. Yeah, like long johns. And so I would tuck them into my socks, and hopefully my socks would hold them down. And yeah, they weren't the most comfortable thing to wear. Somebody says it's always such a trip learning a YouTuber's height. Yeah, yep, I am definitely a tall girl. Out of my dad has, oh shoot, I think it's 13 girls, and there's 3 of us that are over 6 feet. There were 3 of us that are like 6'2", 6'3", and then some of them that are 6 feet, and then some of them that are like average, about 5'6". So I think my shortest sister is 5'6", 5'7", something like that.
Yeah, I'm 6'2", and I'm the runt of my brothers. So, yeah.
I know you are, huh?
Yeah. If you look at a family picture, you start with me, and it goes up to the middle brother's the tallest, and then back down to the youngest brother, who is 6'2" also. So my youngest brother and I are 6'2", and we're both the runts.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody says what kind of material. Typically it's like a polyester or a cotton. It depends on what, like it's a silky. You can buy one pair that's like silky, one pair that's cotton. I think it just depends on what you want, and they're different prices. Yeah. And so I would switch, like the silky ones I'd try to wear more in the summer because they were cooler. In my cotton ones I'd wear more in the winter because they were warmer. Somebody says, I was wondering if you had any thoughts on non-Mormon polygamists, like on seeking sister wives, polyandry, polyamory, etc. I don't know why anyone would ever voluntarily go into this religion unless you thought that it was the only way to get back to God. That would be the only reason if you were so afraid of your eternal salvation, that would be the only reason I would think.
I think a lot of them on Seeking Sister Wives are doing the same thing because they've read it within their scriptures so they're all probably trying to do it to get back to God, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would voluntarily or like just want to live this lifestyle because it's so hard. So I would think that, yeah, if it's not religious wise, I mean, good on you for wanting to do it. I don't know that I would want to do it. Somebody says, have you caught any of the secret lives of Mormon wives? So
guilty.
We had a night where we were just like, what do you want to do tonight? And we have been so tired and so burned out. We obviously taking care of my mom is a wonderful opportunity. It's not like we're complaining about it. We've just been tired. We've had a lot going on. So we're laying there one night and I'm like, you want to just drink some Coke and whiskey and watch some trash TV? So a lot of Cokes and whiskeys later and trash TV. We watched the entire series, I think, in 2 nights.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, we were laughing our butts off. The problem is, I think a lot of that is very real. And I just think it's interesting. I just think it's funny.
It's the hush-hush part of what goes on. You show up to church and nobody knows about that, so knows about what's going on. You just put on a good show.
Right. So. Yeah, as long as your bishop doesn't know all this stuff's going on, but then now you put it on TV and I just think it's hilarious. Swinging is a huge thing in Utah, so there's that too.
But if the bishop asked about what he saw on TV, you're like, why would you be watching something like that, Bishop? So. Well,
both of us were just like, we felt guilty just sitting there because we have so many things to do, and so both of us were just like, should we go get productive or should we sit here and drink whiskey and Coke and watch trash TV? So that's what we did. So let's see. And it was funny. We thought it was funny. Let's see. The church seems so closed. How do people convert into it? They don't really have a lot of conversions anymore. It used to be a lot more conversions. Oh, super chat from Meredith Andrews. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I know there's a way that I can like it, but I don't remember how. Let's see. Are you familiar with the Aldridge family? They've just started a YouTube. Yes. In fact, I went on there and wanted to give them some support. I grew up, I'm older than Vanessa, the first wife, and then Cory grew up with Charisse, the second wife. She grew up in Pinesdale, and I grew up with Vanessa. So Vanessa is Mitch on Sister Wives, Aspen's husband Mitch, and Vanessa are siblings from same mom, same dad. And so I grew up with them, and yeah, I'm going to try to give their channel some support if I can. Go ahead. But they were on Seeking Sister Wives, and I knew his first wife. I still know his first wife. She left him a long time ago, Jeff's first wife, and she's amazing. And we absolutely love them, or we love her.
Yeah. I'm familiar, yeah. So,
familiar with who?
Well, we grew up with some of the people.
Right.
I grew up, but I never knew him, so.
Oh, Jeff, yeah.
I never.
They were at my grandma's funeral a couple months ago.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him now, but I don't think I ever knew him growing up within the faith, but I don't know when he came into it.
Yeah.
Or if they've been there the whole time. The faith is huge. There's people all over. We were kind of sheltered up in Pinesdale, so I know some of the people that have come from Pinesdale down here, and I knew some people down here in Utah.
Yeah, because I think Charisse, I think her name is Charisse. She is from Montana. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of who her parents are, but I always said in the All Red group, or it's called the All Red group or the AUB. There's just so many people with the same name. It can get hard to know, like, hey, who's this? Who's David Jessup? There's 5 David Jessups. Mm-hmm. So you have to almost go by, like, who's his parents, who's his mom and dad, or, you know, in order to figure out sometimes who's who. To
figure out which one they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they are huge families. So.
Yeah. In fact, I had somebody text message or direct message me and asking me, hey, do you know who this person is? I'm like, there's at least 6 people with that name. And so, yeah, you're going to have to get more specific with me. Daisy says, I learned about you a few days ago after watching the episode of Cults to Consciousness. You have a very interesting story for sure. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for being here, Daisy. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Shalisa's channel, Cults to Consciousness. She has been amazing. And so I reached out to her and just wanted to be able to get out there and tell my story about it. I never thought I'd go public. My sister went public first. And so I just decided to start talking about the way that we grew up, and hopefully we can help other people. Hopefully we can help people who are wanting to leave high controlled societies like that. But it's a challenge to leave. Deconstructing religious beliefs is not an easy task, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's a chore. It's a lot of work. What did you say?
Nothing. Somebody just became level 2. Welcome to level 2.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll just say thank you, manager.
Oh, I think it's a great name. Somebody says, are garments given at marriage ceremonies only? Do unmarried men and women get garments? So in the Polygamous church, the AUB, yes, only the married people get them. In the Mormon church, however, they send the younger kids somewhere between the ages of 18 to 24, I believe, on Mormon missions. And so they will go through the temple and get their endowments and get their garments on before they go on that mission. And so where the AUB does not send people on missions. Yeah. And so people don't go through until after, till they're getting married.
Yep, they only do it. And the kids, no, somebody asked if kids wear garments. We up where we grew up, we had to dress as if we had our shirts buttoned up to the long sleeve shirts, long pants. We were supposed to dress modest as if, so we were prepared when we get married to put them on. But yeah, I dressed looked like I was wearing them as a kid growing up. Yeah. All of us were required to dress a certain way, but no, only when you go in and get your endowments, get married, do you get the garment. So
yeah.
In the AUB.
Chip the dog says, I'm on vacation in Germany and so happy that I can still view you. That's awesome. Nice. Oh, Corey's family is from Germany. So
one day I'll go back there.
Our last name is very German. Mm-hmm. Do you think some of the shows take bits and pieces of polygamy and put it in their shows like The Handmaid's Tale? Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. Handmaid's Tale I really liked, it's funny, most people I know don't watch polygamy shows. They don't watch Sister Wives. They don't watch anything like that. But Handmaid's Tale we did watch, and that one was really triggering for me because I felt so much of that abuse in my first marriage, and I saw so much of that type of abuse. And so it was really triggering to watch The Handmaid's Tale for me in a lot of ways. We would have to pause, and then I'd just be like, you know, and I'd get all upset about it, and poor Cory'd have to sit there and listen to me because I felt so aggressive and angry about it. And there's so many things that happen. There's so much abuse that happens, you know, essaying abuse that happens in the AUB and these any high controlled society, it seems like. And so yeah, a lot of that forceful abuse to these handmaidens was really triggering for me. I had a really hard time with it.
Yeah, and I think Handmaid's Tale isn't really, because they use a lot of Bible terminology on that with the handmaidens and concubines and all of that stuff. where the AUB prides themselves that they don't have that. They have wives, and so multiple wives. So
Yeah.
yeah, AUB probably be offended if you compared Handmaid's Tale. No, we marry them all. We honor them in the wife position. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. The Handmaid's Tale really does trigger me a lot. I won't lie. Okay, sweet. We've got
but
Cory's.
you are expected to produce children, as many as you can within that. It's guided that you create as many children as possible
Right.
to build up your kingdom. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of their terminologies, a lot of the stuff in the AUB would be like, oh, well, we believe in that part of it. No, those are wives. We don't do any of that. So
Yeah. No, Meredith Sanders says, I just adore you both so much. Absolutely, hands down, my favorite YouTube channel. Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. We appreciate that everyone's so like charitable with us, because we kind of just threw ourselves into this without really knowing anything that we were doing, and so we really appreciate how kind everyone's been to us.
thanks, Lori.
We do have Cory's little sister in the house, so
Oh, yeah. Hi, little sister.
Katie, hi there, sweetheart. She is moderating for us today. So we just adore Katie. We just ran and saw Katie last month or I guess it's been almost 2 months since we went to Montana. Let's see, okay, and then Share Bear, thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you. We really appreciate that. She says, thank you for telling your story. Yeah, it is something, it's interesting because it's not something I ever really thought that we would do, is tell our story, at least publicly online.
I never thought
I'll openly talk about it, but this guy over here is like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so getting him to speak it's been fun. But then sometimes we'll do a live and then we'll click off and he'll be like, I have a vulnerability hangover. So someone says, are you my cousin? We should date, the new motto for the AUB. So yeah, we do know that, there was first cousins that just recently got married, like a couple weeks ago. So that was interesting.
Yeah, it's awkward when you don't have to really change your last name when you get married.
Yeah. Somebody says, why can't I find a picture of your father online? I don't know. I thought that there would be plenty of pictures of him online. The Cults to Consciousness video that I just did my interview with, she has a picture of him right there on the front cover of it. It's got a picture of him and his most current, I think there's 4 wives on there, maybe 5. I can't remember how many wives were on the picture with him. But those are his most current wives. And then we are going to upload some pictures on our members site where I was going to post a picture of my, some more current photos of, or even like, and then she also posted a picture of, I believe on the live that we did today, a picture of like my dad's whole family. Because we always would do a big family camp out, and so those are on there too. And then also pictures of like when I got married. I was a week into 17 when I got married, and some of those are on our TikTok and our YouTube channels, or Instagram channels as well. So if you don't follow us on those, there's a link in our bio, and I have a lot more like personalized stuff posted on Instagram. I've got to get better at it because I get slacking sometimes, but
there's more family on here. Thanks for that comment there, family.
Oh, what comment?
The one you just read.
Oh, that is them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Hi.
That's hilarious. Let's see, do you buy the garments at the temple or are they given to you? You have to buy them. There's typically people who are set aside and they're given special callings, and they are the ones who make the temple garments. And so before I left, I was actually going in there to become one of those people. Before I left the AUB permanently, I was in the training process of learning how to do those. Cory, will you be posting the rules of the AUB? Is it similar to the 10 Commandments?
Yeah. I'll go over them. They're not similar to the 10 Commandments.
Not even close.
I think the 10 Commandments are more set up for, here's some moral rules. These ones are more set up for how what a guy should look for in finding a wife. Then once you've got the wives, how the wives are to treat each other, and then the last part of it is how to raise the children the same way. So
Right.
all this stuff. So it's just how to build a family, try to be cohesive, and raise your children within that cohesion. So yeah, it's just all the rules to build a family.
And there's a lot of like rules for the husband, rules for the wife, and rules for the children.
Yep. And then somebody asked in there, about the temple ceremony, that the LDS Church has changed and adjusted it. The AUB prides themselves in they're living the original law, so they're trying, I'm assuming they're trying to keep the original ceremony too, as they know it.
Yeah, as far as I know it.
You guys were probably doing the pre-1990 change, because I think the LDS,
I got married in 91, so I went through, I went through.
But you were doing the
Yeah.
pre-version. In 90, I guess the church changed some of it, and then they've changed them and changed them again.
Oh, right,
so,
right.
Yeah, from what I've read of the original one, that from somebody online, they're probably using the original from the original LDS stuff. They have all the same weird signs and tokens. So
Yeah. Somebody says, I need your sister's channel's name. My sister doesn't actually have a channel. I went to Cults to Consciousness is, I think, the one that we're talking about here. And yes, we will be doing more rewatches. We just have like a regular job, and then we have, family members we've been taking care of. So we just are trying to get to them when we can get to them. But we're on season 3, episodes 6 and 7. And oh my gosh, which has so much to do with the tell-all that they just did, and we were just like lighting up. So we'll probably film that one later tonight. We're trying to get as many episodes filmed as we can. Let's see.
The LDS Church did away with the penalties of that. So.
And if you don't know what that is, you can always.
The AUB still has those in there.
There's a lot of YouTube channels that will go over what the actual ceremony is. We don't have anything like that on our channel, but you can go and look those up if you want to find out like what are the penalties, what is the actual ceremony. It takes 4 or 5 hours to go through in the AUB.
Google has everything. Just look up the ceremony on Google.
Yeah.
They're all there. And you can read word for word, or you can watch a little video on it. So.
Yeah. So okay. I really don't want to slaughter your name, and I'm so sorry if I do. Inzadi, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, watched your interview on Cults to Consciousness. I'm curious what makes a man choose a favorite. What exactly is it about the ones who are chosen as favorites? Is it a sex thing or a submissive thing? I think it's a combination of all of those things. I think that so many times, like when I got married, my ex-husband and his best friend flipped a coin. They were both interested in me. Who's she going to marry? Let's flip a coin. It doesn't really matter. And then that's how so there's not always a lot of, hey, I'm going to marry you because I'm madly in love with you and I want to be, your wife. And so there's not a lot of that. So when somebody does come in and they find that, hey, I really love you, I really want to be with you, then they will go above and beyond. Because my mom was very submissive. My mom was very attentive to my dad, and she was not the favorite. So I think it just depends on for that man. What would you say? Because you're a man. So
I have, but I do have a favorite wife.
I know. Thanks, love.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
Well, no. With Cody, it seems like she tended to. Yes, she'd get frustrated with him, but she was always feeding his ego. Where I felt like the other wives might have, but they're also going to sometimes call him out on his BS. So I don't know. I truly don't know. It probably changes.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just is how they click as people. So many times these marriages aren't necessarily done off of passion. They're done off duty, responsibility. AUB does not have arranged marriages per se, but you know,
suggested, yeah.
highly suggested.
Highly
So here I was
suggested, yeah.
a week after my 17th birthday, I got married because it was highly recommended or highly suggested to me that this is what I need to do. And so my options were this or this. And so I thought I was at choice, but was I really at choice when these were my two choices, bad or worse?
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I think a lot of it just really, I think that in my personal opinion, I'll just be super honest here, maybe this will get me in trouble. I've tried to have a lot of charity and grace for the Brown family, because I know so many of them, and I really love and appreciate a lot of them. In my opinion, he had these 3 wives. They've been through hell together. They've worked so hard together. Like Janelle said, used a safety pin to pin up her bra because they didn't have the money. So they've been through the trenches together. And so all of a sudden this shiny new toy comes around, and she is
his soulmate. And
yeah.
says all of the pretty words, and
yep. And she just comes right in, and it's like, here I am. I'm gonna show up and give you all of these, wonderful accolades, and I'm gonna be skinny and tiny and do all the things that you want me to do for you, whether it be sexually, whether it be, I don't know.
He was her best customer. So yes.
So that has a lot to do with it, I think, too. And then these men, you're not supposed to be sexually active. No one typically ever follows that, however, but you're not supposed to be sexually active unless you're wanting to produce children. And all of a sudden here comes this childbearing aged woman, and he can practice as much as he wants. So why wouldn't she be his favorite? I know I don't want to sound crass, but
it's their belief system. So practicing.
Yeah, so I hope that kind of answers. I just think really, like, for me, I just wasn't madly in love with him. He wasn't madly in love with me. Had he have actually gotten his second wife, he courted a couple of different girls after we got married. My ex-husband did. And I think if he would have found one that had that connection with him, that he, I think that she would have easily become the favorite and I would have been displaced. And I think that's very common, and it happens in every single family. And I think the husband goes through stages where this woman is fulfilling all of his whatever needs he's got going on right then, and this woman's not. And so then I'm going to pay her more attention, and this one can go sit in a timeout somewhere.
Well, and she's saying a lot of things like, well, you're the leader of the family, and building him up in his position, and how people should respect him in his position, and yeah, you're right. And so, a lot of positive reinforcement to her best customer.
Yeah.
Makes her the favorite.
You're right. Let's try catch up on these comments. But thank you so much for that comment. That was an awesome comment.
Yeah, thank you. So blessed.
Yes, thank you. So blessed. I thoroughly enjoy your content and appreciate the natural, unpolished rapport. You both keep it real. We do. We have that's what I was telling him. I was telling that to Shalise on Cults to Consciousness before we got started. I was like, we are so unpolished. Like, we don't know what we're doing. So you got to kind of tell us how you want your live to show up, because we are very just, here you go. So thank you so much for that. What are you doing? Cory's getting lost in the comments again.
I am. Yeah.
Let's try to catch up a little bit. What? Oh, thank you. Welcome, Share Bear. Thank you for having a membership. We really appreciate that.
Barbara, thank you.
Oh, somebody says, can you guys check the settings for your membership? It's not an option for me. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we will. Yeah. We will absolutely do that. Let's see. Barbara, thank you so much for the super chat right there. Appreciate that. She says, can you explain how the order of marriages work? Why was your first marriage spiritual and not legal? I thought the first marriages would be legal. You guys are the best. Thank you. Yeah, I just got married so young, and we were always taught to keep the government out of your life. And so we just didn't see any point, because our marriage was between us and God. The government didn't even need to know anything. Like, I literally didn't get my children birth certificates until they were a lot older. And my ex-husband's family is from Mexico, so we were wanting to take our kids to Mexico at one point, which is the only reason I even applied for a birth certificate. I just didn't know how ignorant I actually was back then to the process. And I wasn't ignorant and necessarily, I didn't know. And so once I got older, then I started to realize all of the things that I actually did need my children to be a part of society in order to do to function. And so I just didn't know. And not all the first wives get married. My dad married his first wife, and then she left him and divorced him when I was 2. And then my dad didn't have a legal wife for 25 more years. So he then got a legal wife when I was 25 maybe. And so 23 more years. But yeah, and then Cory and I did get legally married because we didn't get church married, spiritually married. So really it just kind of depends
we did
on
it for the tax breaks. So yeah, you get married, you can file taxes. So
yeah.
We were out in the world and learned about all this kind of stuff. So.
And no, we did not get married so that Cory could legally adopt my children. No. We did not do that. I don't know anyone who's ever done that. That's been brought up on Sister Wives Show too, and that's not something that we really know of people doing. Awesome. Let's see. But yeah, so that's why I didn't do it legally. We were together for 10 years. So in the state of Utah, they do have what's called common law marriage. And so we were common law married, and all of our marital assets that we obtained throughout the time that we were together and married, were split during that divorce, and the children, I had to file a legal divorce to get full custody of my children. So yeah, we are going to be, it took us a minute to get that legal divorce because I didn't even know I could file for one.
Yeah.
And so that was a little bit tricky.
And she probably would have got judged. You were getting married at 17.
Yeah, I got married 8 days after my 17th birthday.
Yeah.
And he was 25.
Did you really want to get a marriage license here? So.
Yeah.
Don't you want to finish high school? So.
Yeah. All my friends were graduating high school, and I had a 3-month-old baby. I had a baby 9 months after I got married.
Thanks, Valiant Warrior, for pointing out all the cool stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm enjoying your comments.
Cher Bear says, are you going to continue with Sister Wives? Season 3 of Sister Wives. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I think I just answered that a few minutes ago. Yeah, we watched 6 and 7. While my mom was here, there was just a lot that we had going on. She had therapists that were coming in and out all the time on top of our regular work schedules and jobs. And we literally came home from Montana straight into that. And so we didn't realize that all that was going to happen, obviously. Yeah. And so we just haven't...
Working on our videos.
I didn't want to watch Sister Wives a lot with my mom around too, because I didn't want to stress her out even more than she already was. And the show can sometimes give her a lot of anxiety. So we didn't really want to watch.
Trying to keep a calm heart.
Yeah. Peaceful tranquil setting so that she could get healed a lot faster. Let's see. Kumquat manager sent notes to self for gift. Oh, thank you so much. He gifted out. Thank you. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much. Gave out some gift memberships. I didn't even know you could do that. Thank you so much. Let's see. So now we've got welcome to all of our new members. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
The Peyton Sotelo says, do you think Cody will regret giving up on the OG wives and kids? I think one day he will. Yes, I do. And, without going into too much detail, because I don't want to give away who the people are, we know a lot of people who have come in, obtained a favorite wife like that, left, and with that favorite wife, they very seldom ever stay together. That wife, when money runs out or whatever runs out, she'll eventually leave him. And we did have somebody that we know who chose out of life over that, and he was devastated. He was whatever regrets he had, he decided to make a choice to choose out, and so it can be very devastating. I don't wish that for Cody Brown. I don't wish that on anyone or their families, but it's hard to live with that. Let's see.
Oh, that loving him. I like that.
What did you say?
That Cody had said to Suki, loving me is in his list, but she didn't repeat that. Yeah, so when she was love bombs Cody, or just he's my soulmate. I love him. Da da da. It was everything he needed to hear. So
Yeah.
So probably 30 years of working hard trying to build stuff, and all of a sudden she comes in just adoring him. He can do no wrong, because if he's doing something wrong, she'll guide him and change it for him. So, so yep.
Yep.
That's probably one of his number ones on his list. And so when somebody's not love bombing him, they question him, things like that, and he sets them aside, moves them out.
Yeah.
Kids too. So.
Yeah. Somebody says, Nicole says, I've asked in comments when the show started in 2009 to 2010, who was the prophet and what was their ruling on sexual activities? Was it Thompson? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know the years. I know Owen was the prophet up until, well, he was when I left in 2000.
He was a prophet when I got excommunicated. So.
Yeah, he's the prophet who excommunicated Cory.
I deleted all of their doctrine and teachings.
And then it was Lemoyne Jensen for I don't know however many years, and his stance was no sex or no intimacy in a marriage until unless you're trying to procreate. But then I don't know what Lynn Thompson's stance was. He was the prophet before my dad. I don't know what his stance was on it. I don't believe he had really one. And then my dad's stance has always been that the leadership needs to stay out of the bedrooms of people. It's none of their business. And so he's always felt that way, or at least he's always expressed that to me my entire life. I don't know if he's changed his opinion lately, but that's, Barbara says, I'm so happy you left your ex and found Cory. Me too. Yeah, you should have seen Cory's face the first time I asked him out. He was like, what? I had to ask him out, and I had to ask him to marry me, and so he was like stunned. He couldn't even believe it. He's like, I can't go out with you. You're married. I'm like, no, I just left my husband, and let's go out. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Tracy. Oh my gosh, I hate it when it does that. Tracy Gurley, thank you so much for that super chat. It says booze, bucks, and crass chat. I love it. Yeah, that is what we were doing. Let's see.
No booze yet.
Yeah, let's see if I can get. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. What are you seeing?
17 is the new 14.
Yeah.
They say in Utah. So.
Yeah, I don't know how my parents let me do that. But Barbara says, how's your mom doing? She's doing so much better. I don't know if she's on this live yet because my sister, one of her kids was graduating high school and she was watching that. But she's doing so much better. She just got the okay from her doctor to be able to drive again. She got the okay to be able to live at home again. She's been living with us. We've been helping to take care of her, which we love. I mean, we love it when she comes over. And so then she loves her home and wanted to go home, and oh, there she is right there on the chats. Thank you everyone who have mentioned my well-being. I'm doing so much better, and I'll be forever grateful for Cory and Mel for taking me in and putting up with my crazy schedule. God bless you all. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Yeah, so of course, you know, we would love it, and we love it when she comes up and stays with us. Somebody says, is your mom still a wife to your dad? No, she wanted to leave my dad. She started the process of leaving my dad about 5 years ago, but I mean, he's the leader of the church. It's not like she can get a release or anything like that, and she's not the legal wife, so basically she's just, yeah.
She has to go ask the leader of the church for a release, and he's not going to grant a release from himself. Look bad. It'll look bad.
I didn't do anything wrong.
He never legally married her, so.
This lady's crazy.
Yep.
You're not crazy, Mom. Are most men in the AUB as angry as Cody? Yes. And I've said this in a couple other videos. Cody is not the exception to the rule in the AUB. Cody is no different than 99% of the men that I know in the AUB, and especially if a wife tries to leave them, they're the same way. They
usually become a lot more calm and peaceful once they get excommunicated or they leave the AUB.
You. Yeah, Cory became a nice guy when he left. Let's see.
A lot less stress in life, knowing that where you're going. So.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thanks, Home Perm.
Yeah, Home Perm, thank you so much. Says thank you for that super chat. Says thank you for breaking down everything for us. We appreciate it. Thank you. And then DJ Tag, thank you so much for those chats. We really appreciate those. Let's see. What do you think about Robin not having to answer the questions on the tell-all? I think it's kind of crazy that she doesn't. I don't know if that's like, it makes people more interested in her because she is so elusive, I think. And so it like, people are almost like obsessed with wanting to find out more about her and her family and all this stuff. And I don't know if it's just because she is so elusive about, like, I feel like at the beginning, all we got was just, honestly, I'm just going to put it out there, she was just fake. She cried about everything and it wasn't real. Go ahead.
No, she was putting on her show. She was the righteous wife, the know-it-all wife, the guide them towards the perfect marriage's wife. So, yeah, she was teaching them, and I wouldn't say she's fake, she's just hiding her true self. And Cody they all were kind of hiding who they really are and putting on the show of how Sister Wives comes about, and then slowly over the seasons, your true character comes out, and she is very scared to let her true character come out. And people start to see glimpses as she's talking, so she's going to avoid the questions, the judgments, because she loves everybody. And these are her best friends fighting.
Well, she's kind of
below that.
She's put herself in a damned if I do, damned if I don't situation. Yeah. She says something and she gets like torn apart all over line for saying that. She doesn't say something and she gets torn apart online for that. So she's put herself in that position. But I think it's funny to just watch people be obsessed with her because she's, I don't know. I never knew her. I didn't even know she existed until Sister Wives show came on. So,
yeah, this is new. This is a whole new generation of people in our family that are graduating high school instead of getting married around that time. It's a new twist. It's awesome. So, yeah, they're waiting a little bit later to get married. So
I love it too, because
good to be going to graduations at this time in their life instead of marriages.
Right, so. Right. Out of my mom's 11 children, the first one to actually graduate high school was the 9th one. I think she was the 9th one. And the rest of us, we just didn't, school was not a big thing. Are the men in the AUB more narcissistic than in others? I think so. I think most men that I know are pretty, I wouldn't know if they were narcissistic, but they have narcissistic tendencies. Yeah. I think sometimes we overclassify people as narcissists, but I think we all have narcissistic tendencies. They just tend to get a little bit deeper.
Yeah. I think you're trained up to, I think they're trained from childhood to, you are the leader. You should have praises if you're doing that. You're going to get in trouble. You're definitely going to get in trouble if you're not doing everything you're told. But yeah, when you're doing everything you're being told, then you get praises from the family, from your wives, from all of that stuff. You get higher rankings in the AUB sometimes. So
yeah, I think too.
You get bigger callings and more sashes on your temple clothes. It's merit badges, things like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But part of
fourth wife merit badge. Woohoo!
I forgot where I was going with my comment. No, I totally let that one go. Sorry, I was going to say something else about it. Oh, that I think the part of the difference too with this level of narcissism is because they have God backing them. So if you question them, you're questioning God. Yeah. And so that's where a lot of the deeper narcissism comes in, and especially these men who are like the center of the universe for these families, and all of a sudden they're like not. And so they become super angry because they're so used to being the center of everything. And it's like, God's backing me. So we just did, we did a recap of this last episode. Oh my God, when Robin says that God will protect me, I was just like, oh my gosh, that frustrated me so bad because, yeah, don't question what God's doing for me. It's so annoying to watch. It's so frustrating.
You're getting beat up online. You're getting this. I know, but God's going to watch out over me. You can't do anything for me, young man.
Yeah.
So
it's super obnoxious, and so yeah, you can't question any of it because it's God making
knows who she is, and
yep.
She's righteous, and
right.
He'll defend her in the end. Sharebear, thank you.
$5 super chat from Sharebear. Thank you. Glad she's doing well. Continued healing prayers for your mom. Love when she's at your lives and comments in the background.
Yeah.
I really love you guys. Yeah,
too.
Thank you. I'm hoping that when she comes back up in June, she'll be up here in the middle of June to stay with us for a few days. I'm hoping that we can go live. While she was here, I was hoping we would, but I didn't want to add any extra stress to her, so we just wanted her to get better and get healed, and she is doing so much better. Let's see. It was a scary couple of days for sure. We didn't know if we were bringing her home from the hospital. Let's see. I just love you guys. Did you say you have a kid that moved to North Carolina? I live in North Carolina. Yes. Yep. She just bought a bunch of land in North Carolina. She actually has a YouTube channel that she's going to document her entire experience of developing this land, and it's called Beneath the Pines. So if anyone wants to check that out, she has always been like a professional photographer, and she is amazing at all the videos she edits and stuff like that. So she did her very first YouTube video and posted it called Beneath the Pines, and it's all about the land that they bought there in North Carolina. Let's see. Kind of their story, what they're settling down and building a forever home there. So yeah. Peyton says, I think Cody would still be married to the OG3 if Robin hadn't come along. I think so too. I really think so. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what frustrates me about, we did a video just recently about sanctified marriages versus sexualized marriages and how we romanticize each one. And yeah, I feel like I'm struggling with the amount of sexualization that is coming out of the Robin and Cody on TV. It's gross. Oh, it is very gross. Let's see. Let's see. I'm so glad that Christine found David. He's amazing like Cory. I think so too. I think you guys are very grounded people. Got a sense of humor, disobedient, all the fun stuff. Yeah. Write a book. We should write a book. Is that what they're saying? Yeah, we should. Mine would be a comedy. It'd be fun. If anyone out there knows how to get started on writing a book, our email is in our page. Email me. I just don't even know how to get started on it. I wouldn't even know where to go from it. I've been told that my whole life, and I just never have. Being born of goodly parents. Crazy ass parents. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. I think it would take an incredibly strong man not to give in to narcissistic tendencies in a culture like that. And see, that's exactly how it is. How do you not give in to that when that's your whole life? Your whole life is being worshipped. What's funny to me is my dad's been in leadership since I was young. My whole life he's been in the leadership. And so I have seen him at church be the way he is at church. And then I've seen him at home be the way he is at home. Well, most of my siblings stopped going to the AUB, so they haven't always seen my dad in the capacity of prophet or as an apostle. And so to them, he's just their dad, right? He's not this big to-do. And so I've gotten both experiences of my dad, and my siblings, all of a sudden, they're starting to experience it now because more people are starting to know that my dad's the prophet. And so my siblings are like, what the hell? Who is this guy? Who does this guy think he is? So it's funny to watch that because he has one persona that he amplifies while he's at church, and he's a really influential, the big cheese. And then at home, he's just like, oh my gosh, that's just dad, whatever. So you get both sides of that. So I think it's funny to watch my kids or my siblings say that. We just missed it. It just moved up. But there's one about
she finds it's funny. What gets me is women, is the women are considered to have adulterous affairs if they find another husband. But it's what polygamous men does all day. Yeah, and it's like, well, it's in the scriptures that my adultery is getting us into heaven. Yours is not. So, so I'm going to go have this an adulterous thing go on. It's not considered adultery. It's considered living the principle, and it's going to get all of us into heaven. So I'm doing it for all of us by doing this, because that's how well I sacrifice. But you can't do that. So
yeah, and that is true. I mean, Cody even says in season 1, most of you guys know we've never watched Sister Wives. We're doing a watch through for the very first time right now, and then commenting on each episode of what we see. So we're not Sister Wives experts at all. We're just trying to give what we were taught, the doctrine that we were taught, the reason why they act the way that they do. But in season 1, Cody is talking to Mary, and Mary's like, I just want you to recognize like how hard this would be for you. And he's like, I can't. That's grotesque. Disgusting. That's disgusting. That's vulgar is the word that he used. Yeah. That's vulgar for me to imagine you with another man. And so, yeah, like Cory said,
it's against our teachings. Why would you even bring it up? That's
when they have affairs or commit adultery, it's all in the name of getting everyone to heaven. But if you do it, then yeah, you're the bad one.
It is written.
Okay, let's see. See if I can catch up here. Let's see.
Yeah, Robin's probably getting sick of kissing his ass by now too. Yeah, because they were together, what, 19? Well, I think the oldest one was like 17.
Yeah, I don't. When they first started, I think he was like 15 or 16. I think Logan was 15 or 16 when they started.
Is it 19 seasons now?
19. And then I know they're filming season 20.
Dang.
Yeah. So
yeah, she's probably about the right time right now on the next couple or seasons where she's going to get tired of his shit. So like the OG 3 did.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I couldn't believe Cody did the licking motion on Robin. So cringe. Yeah. The thing is that we were talking about this and why it was bothering me so bad, because I felt really offended when I saw that. Mostly because of the sheer hypocrisy. We're going to get on national television and we're going to tell you all the righteous ways to do things, and we're not going to talk about sexuality. We're not going to talk about some of these things, bedroom activities, and then he gets on there and he licks like.
He says, "Oh, well, we do it in the background. We do it."
It's so disgusting, and it feels so wrong for us too, because my parents never sexualized anything, so I didn't grow up seeing that at all. And so when I see other people do it after they've just given everybody a good, hey, this is not, you have to keep yourself pure, you have to do all these things, and then you get on national television and start doing sexual innuendos, is disgusting to me. But yeah. Lisa Hauserman, Lounging with Lisa, says, hello, you darling people. I saw your interview today. I'm already an hour behind, but I just wanted to drop in and say hi. I'll watch the rerun. Let's talk. This Talks to Text is going to try. Oh, that's funny. It's going to drive me insane. Thanks. Yeah, thank you for dropping in. DJ Tag says, why was your dad beating you? So my dad, I don't remember one time that my dad came home as a child that he didn't beat us. And in he heard me talk about this on one of my very first podcasts that I did, and he called me right away and said, what are you talking about? I never beat you. And I'm like, yes, you did, Dad. Every single time you came home, you beat us. You broke skin on us. What are you talking about? And in his mind, he said, I didn't feel like it was beating. It was corporal punishment. That's just what you did
it's
with your kids.
It's not sparing the rod.
Yeah.
If you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So if you're being disobedient or talking back, or you got a spanking.
Right.
Beating.
And so physical punishment is very common. Everyone I knew was spanked. Everyone I knew, but my dad would, yeah. But it went too far with my dad. Most of the time it went too far. And he didn't see that, and he didn't recognize that, or he just didn't care. I don't know what it is, but it was really hard way to grow up. We got the shit kicked out of us all the time. All the time. You got to talk into your mic.
Well, and they thought they thought it was for the betterment of that child. It created obedient, righteous children. So you were disciplining them to get them to follow your guidance and your teachings and be obedient to the Word of God. And that's part of it is when you step out of line or you're not doing what you were told to do, or whoops, it's the wrong kid, you got disciplined.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and sometimes, depending on how angry the parent was, you'd get disciplined pretty rough. So
yeah, it was pretty aggressive growing up, and the boys. I feel like the boys got it a little bit worse than the girls did. I think I got it a lot worse than some of the other kids because I was the oldest, and so I got disciplined for all of the other kids' actions too, and so I feel like that's one of the reasons why I just got a lot more than the other kids did. And my dad is a big guy. He's 6'8". He's 275 pounds, like whatever. He's a big guy, and so a lot of times doesn't know his own strength, and so he would come home and he didn't, one of the other wives, he didn't spank her kids at all because she didn't believe in spanking, and so he didn't spank any of her children ever. But my mom's kids, he beat the crap out of us on a regular basis. So
well, and it's part of the teachings, and our parents mellowed over the years. I mean, we were some of the older ones, so they were following their the teachings of not to spare the rod. If a child is disobedient, as Katie says, or back talks, or didn't do the chores that they were supposed to do, you'd get a good spanking and put in line.
Yeah.
And over the years, because a kid's cowering, they're like, maybe we should be a little bit softer on the next generation.
Right.
Right. So
yeah.
But even some of my younger sisters talk about Katie was disobedient, so you'd get a good talking to.
Yep.
And then
there's a lot of aggression in the AUB, and it wasn't even just like in Pineville where Cory grew up. It wasn't just the parents who disciplined their kids. It was other priesthood members would come in and beat the crap out of these boys, and it was very aggressive. Is there excommunicating in AUB? Yes, Cory was excommunicated.
If you talk to the leadership, they probably will say something along this line: no, we're a corporation, we don't excommunicate people. But yes, they send you a nice little letter saying that you're excommunicated and no longer welcome on priesthood property without explicit written permission. So
yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
so yes, they do.
Yep. And then are there lost boys that are pushed out of the AUB? Like, yes. So Cory you could kind of put Cory in that category, but yes, there are boys who are pushed out.
Yeah. Or welcomed out, or asked to leave.
Right.
Or so
right.
Families are always welcome. I mean, I was an adult and it was like, you need to leave, and I was leaving anyhow. So I've talked about it before that you can't quit, you're fired, here's your excommunication, never come back. So thank you guys for the suggestion. Peyton says Nikki Haverstock, so she's actually the first person who actually really saw one of my videos and pushed it out and helped that video go viral. So I love her. I'll reach out to her. Thank you so much. Okay, Simply 68, thank you so much for that super chat. Says, I made a live, I'm late but here. Your show's tone is great. How do you raise your children when you are still on your own healing path from leaving a cult? Very carefully. Yeah. I feel like for us, literally we were in therapy all the time. We were always doing something,
And our kids went to a lot of therapy as well, because we knew that the minute that I got pregnant with my first child, I was a week into 17 when I got pregnant with him, I started doing parenting classes and started reading parenting books and just trying to figure out how do I change some of the ways that I wanted my children to be raised. I feel like we were always checking in all the time with each other and checking in with our kids. How is it going?
Well, and I was raised by 9 mothers and a dad. And so within that group of parenting, there were some parents, parenting that I liked. We had mothers that we considered grandmas.
Yeah.
They would talk to me. They would tell me, they'd communicate with me and tell me, hey, you look like you're going down this path, or you did this wrong. You could see, and this didn't necessarily, and then I got spanked or I got corrected. As an adult, I'm like, I really enjoyed the way I was parented this way. I didn't care for the beatings and the yelling at. I enjoyed a parent sitting down and talking to me. And so I'm like, I'm going to be that kind of parent. And so always checking in with each other of, hey, how did we handle that? This came up, how did we handle it? I also really enjoyed that I had a grandfather that whenever he came to visit me, got down on the floor and got down to my level and talked with me. So I'm like, I'm going to be that kind of parent to my kids. And so when I come in, I didn't sit in a chair and yell at my kids to go do this or do that. I came in, usually got on the floor. I love playing games with them. I love doing different things. So I just changed the way that I saw that I was raised and took the bits and pieces that I really enjoyed and tried to implement that. Am I perfect? Have I got frustrated and yelled? Yes. But have I then go, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, and then I've changed that behavior over time. And so,
well, and I feel like for us too, because we had to blend a family, because I had the 3 kids when we got married, we are a lot more conscious about the things that we do because we were blending the family. And I was on high alert. Poor Cory was such a patient man, and I was on high alert because I didn't want to have that evil stepfather scenario.
And I didn't want to be the evil stepfather.
And I was probably harsher on Cory than I needed to be, because I was constantly like, I don't want my kids to get beat. I don't want my kids, I didn't, I was so over the top protective of my children.
And we made an agreement right at the beginning that we weren't going to discipline that way.
Yeah. So. Right. And so that's one of the things I feel like we are very conscious of that. So I feel like we had to be more conscious in our parenting because of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully that answered you. I've seen the video of him giving honeymoon advice. Gross. Yeah. Looks like one of our daughters just jumped on here. There we go. Yeah, one of our kids just jumped on here. Hopefully she thinks we were good parents. I don't know. She does. She thinks we were good parents. I'm not even worried. Let's see. Somebody says, I think Robin will leave when the money runs out. The OG wives were there when the money wasn't anymore. Yeah, that you do see that a lot when a man leaves with one wife, unfortunately. Somebody says, will your mom ever tell her story? I hope she does. Since this last scare that we just had, I don't even know. It's funny. Maybe my mom can answer in the comments. She got so many journals and so many, like, all these different gifts from all of the grandkids. Everyone was like going to the hospital, and they're giving her all these, like, remember, here, write down your story here, write down your story here. So my mom's going to have writer's cramp after this, because it scared everyone so much. Everyone really wasn't sure if she was going to pull out of it. So my mom's been, my daughter even found this amazing website that my mom can get on there and actually tell her story on video. And so we can all see it on video, which is awesome. And so my mom's been getting on there and telling her story that way too. When my mom has been asking all of her kids, what do you guys come to my house and pick what you want when I pass? And I just told her the only thing I want is her journals. That's it. I don't want anything else. I mean, if it's available, great, I'll take it. If not, the journals, because I want her story to get told too. Even if it's after she passes, hopefully she'll tell it before she passes. But
if you make claim on it, do you have to lick her journals so that the other
I licked it,
siblings-
so it's mine.
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh gosh.
So
Let's see.
Cody was making claim on Robin. So.
Yes. Let's see.
Seems softer. Oh, I've been trying to speak loud. I'm in that oranges, so maybe I'll just speak up louder like this.
Yeah, Cory gets, it's funny, I tell him this all the time because he'll get on the phone, he'll be like, blah, 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 and he gets like, you can't even hear him say goodbye. I'm like, babe, you got to speak up the entire time you're speaking. Let's see. Amazing you both found the strength and love to save yourselves for your children. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that is a huge motivating factor, is our children. Our daughters, we were talking about being good parents. Our daughter says, don't doubt yourselves. Oh, we definitely, he talks soft and you are a bit echoey.
Maybe turn you down and me up. How's that? Are we coming in? This
Yeah.
is where you say, this is where Melanie talks so that I can see if the bar goes up.
Oh, me? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't know. I was trying to catch up on some questions. There we go. Oh, Liv says it's more echoey. We had to adjust all of our stuff today to go on the Cults to Consciousness thing.
Yeah, they had us adjusting.
Yeah. Let's see. Is it common for children in the AUB to call the other mothers by their first names like the Brown children do? Do any of the families have the children call the others aunts? So I've always called them aunt. I've never called them mom. I always say, aunt, so-and-so or aunt so-and-so. But sometimes people will say to me, who's your mother? And then I'll say, Sherlynn's my mother, or I'll say my mother's children, so that people will know these are my mother's children, or I'll say, siblings from another mother. But most of the time in our family, we call them aunt. I never referred to them as mother. Never.
Yeah. We had nicknames for ours. So, my mom, some of the kids called her Charcoal, so instead of Charlene, and I was always calling my other mom Joycey, so.
Yeah.
Hey Joycey, how you doing? So, Rebecca.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just had little nicknames for each one of them, depending on the personality, so it was fun.
Yeah, so I think it just depends on the family. I've called my mom Sherlyn sometimes. So it's funny, Cory's mom's name is Charlyn. My mom's name is Sherlyn, which is weird because they're so similar but different. And so it's definitely weird. Is Cory technically allowed to visit the compound in Montana if you're excommunicated?
Technically, it depends on, do my parents say, yes, you can come up and stay on our property that we built and that we have? Yeah, absolutely. If you were to talk to probably the priesthood leader to be honest, all those who excommunicated me are all dead now, so I don't know who enforces their rules, so technically I probably should, but yeah, nobody cares. To be honest with you, half of the people that excommunicated me excommunicated a name. As soon as they saw me, they're like, oh, hey brother, how's it going? They didn't even have a clue it was me that they excommunicated. They excommunicated a name of somebody that that somebody brought across their desk and table. The prophet at the time excommunicated me, and when I came down here where he was at, he just assumed I was one of the faithful followers. He didn't even have a clue that my name was connected to me. And the funniest part is I commingle within the AUB, and a lot of them assume, there's so many of us, they assume that I'm another brother. They call me by that other brother's name. within the.
That's what I tell him. You should just go wreck shit up, and he'll get the blame for it because they all think that you're him, anyways.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? I'm like, hello, how you doing? So blend right in. They don't even have a clue that they've got an excommunicated person walking among them, walking and talking among them.
What's
they
interesting,
probably do now that I'm on here. So.
But it was funny because the very first time that you ran into the prophet, so the prophet who excommunicated Cory was Owen Allred. And it's funny because the first time that we got to, and my grandmother was married to Owen. So we would go to a lot of different family functions and Owen would be there. And the first time he did. He came up and gave Cory, like, put his arm around him, and Cory's just standing there like, dude, you literally kicked me out of the kingdom of God and now we're friends. I don't understand. And so that was a big moment for you.
Yeah, I was like, he doesn't even, they spelled my name wrong on their excommunication, so so they probably assume they excommunicated somebody else, don't even have a clue who they excommunicated. And
so when we walked away, Cory was just like, that was not...
Yeah, he didn't even know he excommunicated me. Cool.
Because I think in these high-controlled groups, the leadership is put up on this pedestal so high that it's almost like people forget that they're regular men and that they're not like these spirits of, the Godhead coming down. And so I think it's interesting because people really don't classify them just as regular men. So when Cory ran into him and all of a sudden he was just a regular man who had no memory of ever even kicking Cory out, I think it was really... It was like eye-opening for you, like, wait a second, what? And so, I think it's really interesting. Where most of my siblings, my dad's just a regular man. To so many other people in the AUB, he is the mouthpiece of God. He's an elevated status, but to his children, he's just a regular man. He's nothing that is, requires this high divine bow at his feet. Let me see if I can get... Amazing you both found the strength to love and save yourself and your children. Yeah, thank you. Trying to get to another question.
Somebody said, Olivia, are the long bows in the hair popular in Utah right now? Aurora's been wearing them lately on the show. Probably trying to make a trend. I guess the bows in the hair were something big back in the 80s, right?
I always wore them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Probably making a comeback from the 80s.
Yeah, Robin has her older girls dressed down as little girls with bows in their hair, yet it gives an 8-year-old makeup and vanity, then ignores Solomon. Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're only seeing edited versions. We don't see we don't see everything that goes up. But I dressed that way, too. I did for the longest time. I dressed with bows in my hair. What were you going to say? What are you laughing at?
Nothing. They're just trying to come up with good nicknames for Robin.
Somebody says, Melanie, you and Cory are wonderful. Please tell me your dad didn't beat your brother with Down syndrome. I cannot tell you that. I'm sorry. Those were rough days. Yeah, and a lot of times my brother didn't always understand what it was that he did wrong. And yeah, that's another one of the reasons my mom left. Let's see. Just don't let them snatch you back. You're both so inspirational. Nope, they definitely will not snatch us back. I promise you that.
I think this YouTube channel has definitely solidified. They're going in there and getting those excommunication papers right now and changing the name to the correct name. So. No, they don't want us back.
Tanya says, what? They are not. They aren't the voice of God. Yeah, but when they believe they are, it is... yeah, again, that's where we go back to the narcissistic tendencies, which makes these men a little bit more, almost more dangerous, because it's like when you question them, you're questioning God. And so, if you'll see a lot of interviews on Warren Jeffs, and so many people come out and they're like, they think that he's this translated person almost because he's so divine and he's so far up there and all this other stuff. And then other people are like, he's just a man who got caught with pornography in his car and millions of dollars and Disneyland shirts and all this other stuff. He's just a regular human being. But so many people put him up on this elevated status, and I feel like
they don't see that versions of a person.
Yeah.
And when somebody else tells them or evidence comes out, that was just fabricated evidence that Lucifer is putting out there to make them look bad.
Yeah.
So we don't believe it. We won't believe it even with our own eyes. So
yeah. So no.
I heard a good quote. Truth doesn't need to be believed. It stands on its own. It's the lie that needs the belief system to prop it up. And so I find that interesting that we were all told to not make a judgment with you just believed it. You had to feel it in your heart and feel this belief system, and it would be okay in the afterlife. It would be explained in the afterlife, but just believe what we're telling you right now. And so I have doubted from a young age and questioned, and that's some of the stuff that I learned was, truth will stand on its own. Belief, a lie needs a belief system behind it. So
right. Let's see. Somebody says, horrible, my brother had Down syndrome. Yeah, it was tough. It was really hard to watch my dad deal with him. It was pretty uncomfortable. My mom says Robert had 4 years without my dad in his life at all. I'm very grateful for that. So they didn't have a lot to do with each other in the last few years of my brother's life.
I'm excited for you to answer Brady Starr's question.
Does your father have any other special needs children? They're all special needs. No, I'm just kidding. No, my grandma had about 350 grandchildren. She had 11 children. They all lived polygamy. There's about 350 roughly around there, probably more. And what's interesting is nobody was born with any sort of disability like this, and except for 2 Down syndrome kids that are a couple of months apart, which is really interesting. And they were the best of friends. Awesome. So one girl, one boy. Robert was my little brother. The other girl, she was just so cute. But at her funeral, at Robert's funeral, she kicked the rest of it. She kicked us in the pants. It was hard. She went up to him and was rubbing his arm and telling him he was going to be okay. And that was a really rough moment to watch. And so out of all of those kids, that was. It's interesting that nobody's had any other real noticeable disabilities. Everyone's been pretty healthy. So which has been kind of nice. Let's see. Was just listening until now. Any man who beats his son with Down syndrome is no man of God. That's horrible. I'm so sorry, Mel and Mel's mom. That breaks my heart. Yeah, this is another reason why my siblings struggle with my dad being the prophet. Let's see. With all of the abuse, now I know I feel like I need to. My dad has tried to be different. This is the way he grew up. This is the way he was taught. He didn't see anything wrong with it. He didn't feel like he was being overly abusive. And so it's almost like he's unwilling to learn and change some of that. So, but he has really tried with some of his children to change. Not all of his children. With all of the abuse in that community, is alcohol and drug abuse a problem with people who grew up living in that kind of abuse? Yes, I would say so. Yes. What would you say?
Yeah, it depends on who it is. Yeah, I'm sure there's. Yeah. They don't do it in public. I mean.
It's very hidden. So if you've watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, it's like that. It's like we don't put it in public, but it happens behind the scenes, and people just don't know about it. And I'll pretend you're not. I'll pretend you're not an alcoholic, and you pretend I'm not an alcoholic, and that's really what it is. So it's just, I'll buy your bullshit and you buy my bullshit. That's kind of how it is. Alexia says, remember when Robin offered to be a surrogate for Mary? Does that actually happen in the AUB among sister wives? I know of one incident that it did happen, but the surrogate was unaware that she was being a surrogate, and her baby was taken from her right when the baby was born. That's the only situation I know of, and she had to fight really hard to get that baby back. And I don't know how old the baby was by the time she got her back, but I think she was over 10 years old before that woman got the child back. So yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of close. It never happened in our family, so no.
It didn't happen in my family. It just that was the only situation I knew of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm unaware of it. But yeah, the situation, but yeah, I didn't have any mothers going, hey, I'll carry a baby for you like that.
That was a storyline
I know of. Yeah.
I think that was a storyline for this show. I don't feel that was a storyline for the show, and that was, in my opinion, could be totally wrong, a way to manipulate Mary into giving up her legal marriage and legal stuff. I don't know if that came before or after the legal marriage, but no, I think that was a tactic to manipulate Mary, and it was a storyline. I don't think that really would have ever happened, and I mean, heaven forbid that it actually did happen, because can you imagine the shit show it would be now? Like, thank goodness that never happened. So simply says, Cory, some singers have to eat the mic, and I think that's you.
Doing it.
I know, I'm always getting him. Let's see. I love to follow your videos. You seem so relatable and genuine. Thank you. Let's see.
Yeah, it's just a storyline. TLC wasn't going to pay for that. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Loved your videos. And Live with Cults to Consciousness, by the way. What a great channel with the best name. Thank you. Yeah, not sure if you've answered this before, but how does the AUB handle miscarriages? Do they blame the woman? I think it's more individual families that do this. It's really hard, because any high controlled society, you're always going to have people on the fringes that are even more radicalized or more fanatical than the group itself. You're always going to have more people that, are a little crazier, maybe. I don't know if that's a word I can say, but those are the people who shame and guilt the miscarriages. And yes, they do. Yes, that does happen. And yes, if you were more righteous, you wouldn't have miscarried. Maybe you aren't, showing your loyalty to God, loyalty to but those are more of the fringy people. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have happened. But I was one of the boys in the house. I never.
Yeah, you weren't part of a lot of that.
It wasn't made as an announcement that somebody would have miscarried. I'm sure they happened, but yeah, it wasn't much of an announcement that went on. So.
Right. Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, I'm sure. If you're referring to even Mary, yes, I'm sure that there was a lot of shame wrapped around that, and people, make their comments that are kind of just crappy comments. And yeah, that can happen, but it's not taught and over the pulpit or taught to people, oh, hey, you should treat somebody this way if they miscarry. Let's see. Does the AUB believe in immunizations for children? That's a touchy subject now, isn't it?
Some do, some don't.
So it is. It's more of an individualized. It's not something that is ever taught, again, over the pulpit. It's not taught. Back in the day, I remember somebody would get chickenpox and we'd all have a chickenpox party, and they'd take all the kids over and everyone would get the chickenpox all at once, so that it wasn't cycling through the community over and over again. And so, yeah, that does happen. So I think that's more of an individualized family discussion. It's not necessarily, most people do try to do everything as natural as possible, but I think that's something that you and your husband decide, because I know some families who one wife insists on having immunized children and the other wife won't. So it's not even a full family. It's more just you as a couple making that decision, which it should be anyways, in my opinion. Let's see.
Sorry, hopefully that wasn't too loud.
Did you watch the final season of Handmaid's Tale? We did. We just finished it last night. And I was really kind of sad the way that it ended. Apparently there's a new offshoot of it called shoot, now it went out of my brain. But apparently there's a new season. Oh,
You were
Katie got
sad that they
question.
were getting beat back?
What?
You were sad how it ended, that they were starting to win and take back over control?
No, I wanted her to finally find her daughter.
Oh, find her daughter,
Like,
okay,
I
yeah.
feel like they gave an ending to so many of the characters except for her. And so, yes, I think it's important for her to tell her story, but then she ends the show where she started the show in the room where she was held hostage. And so, yeah, that one, The Handmaid's Tale gives me a lot of PTSD because I feel like so many of the sexual acts and stuff were so similar to the feelings that I felt in my first marriage. And
all the teachings, the following,
Yep. Well, and if you watch any of our videos, like I just did the video with the cults of consciousness, and I talk about that my ex-husband essayed me before we were married, and he did it on my parents' bed, and then he ran to my dad and talked. This will get kind of heavy. We'll get off this subject real quick. But then he did it on my parents' bed, and then ran to my dad and said that he had a righteous anger, and my dad made me apologize to him. And so that's where Handmaid's Tale gets dark for me, and I feel like it's kind of similar in some of that.
Being controlled and having no, and if you speak out or get frustrated, you usually get put back into your place, corporal punishment.
Yep.
You know,
So yeah,
I have all my fingers, so
it can get a little
fingers
heavy and
crossed,
dark for me when I watch it. So thank you so much, Tracy McMurray, for that super chat. Thank you both for being so genuine and willing to share your information and experiences. Certainly you are helping others by being so brave. Thank you. Yeah, there's times when honestly we get off the live or something, we're like, oh, we have vulnerability hangovers. Somebody said I look flush. Are you coming down with something? I hope not. Most missed you kids. No, I'm not. I just put a little bit of self tanner on today, and it got a little probably darker than I anticipated that it was going to get on. But thank you. I was feeling flushed because we've been so tired this last week.
I just went out and did a whole bunch of yard work, so I look a little tan. So.
Since AUB focuses on reproduction, once a woman hits menopause, is it assumed a husband would leave a wife for a fertile woman? The thing is
leave.
They don't leave.
Yeah.
They just put her out to pasture or abandon her.
We just won't
most of the time.
Yeah, we won't do any sexual stuff. Now she's set aside. Usually she'll go get Relief Society work and be an empty nester by herself while he's off creating another family, and she's usually okay with that, or supposed to be okay with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. I agree with Melanie. Robin wasn't serious about being a surrogate. No, I don't think she was either. Look how controlling and dominating Robin is over the children that she has now, based on what we're seeing in the editing, of course. I can't imagine if she birthed a baby, gave it to Mary, and then was like, yeah, you're not doing that right, Mary. You need to do this. Yeah, I mean, God, I cannot. I would never. I can't even imagine.
Sorry, we just did a live, and I was disciplined, or not disciplined, but talked to by the host and by her not to focus. Did I have interaction? So
you weren't disciplined.
No,
I'm like,
but they
what?
said don't focus on the thing. Just answer the questions. We'll answer the questions and do stuff. So I've been letting Melanie kind of. And I'm seeing my friend Chappelle's back.
Yeah, Cory likes to get lost in the comments.
Oh, hey, look at guys. There's comments over there. So.
Yeah. Let's see. It's funny. Robin grinned when she heard Janelle called her a sacred cow. Is this how some of the men view one wife over another is sacred? Yes. We've been talking about this a lot, and we about the differences between in the AUB. It's funny because you'll hear us say, yes, women, they have to respect this position, and then it's like, no, women are not respected. So you hear two ends of it. So women themselves, that person is not necessarily respected, but the position that they hold is what you have to respect. And women are matriarchs, so you have to respect the position of the matriarch. But that woman, I mean, it broke my heart when Suki asked Christine, did Cody respect you? And she went, I don't think he thought he had to respect me. that's the truth right there. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly. She might have been, and that's what he said. Well, she was a good cook.
She could cook me a good meal.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wanted to backhand him when he said that.
He's respecting her position as a wife within the family, as long as she was doing her duties. But anybody could step into that position at any given time. Did she respect Christine as the person, her likes, her needs, or her personality? No, not necessarily. But I will respect her. That she's the mother of my children, and she's a mother within there, and so you as the kids need to respect her. But I'm the husband, I'm up here, I'm the leader of the family. I don't need to necessarily respect lower roles within the family.
Yeah.
But I will discipline this kid if he doesn't respect that position that the mother has. Or so they're more about the respecting of the position. He doesn't expect, but he does expect his kids to respect him as a father. And if they don't respect him as a human, that's fine, but they should respect him as a father and the leader of the house. And so
and a
mentality that they have, that they really don't respect this person sitting in front of me because of who she is or how she's grown up or the things that she's gone through. But a position within the church or within the family, yes, I will respect that. So
they respect it. And we've been saying that too. Even the men, I was having this conversation with my mom the other day. I'm like, they don't even respect their own positions that they hold, but they demand that you respect it. Like they don't respect the fact that they're the priesthood holder or the leader of the family. They treat their children like they abuse their children. They abuse their wives. They don't even respect their own position, but you will respect their position. And so it gets really confusing when we say in one sentence, they do look at some sacred cows, and then no, they don't respect women at all. So that's where the difference is coming in. Go ahead.
She just kind of smiled like, Janelle just called me the sacred cow, but at least she got the sacred right. She knows my position. I'm the sacred lead wife, so she got that one just right on. So
I think it's really sad too, because we are not, as women, taught to have respect for ourselves. And we said this in the video that we did about sacred marriages versus sexualized marriages. And we talk about that when we're born, we are not taught to have any self-respect, because the minute that you start to have self-respect as a woman in this culture, you leave. Or you start to become disgruntled, and then you start searching for different answers, and then you'll get up and leave because you won't tolerate it. You won't tolerate being treated that way. And a lot of it is just vibrational for women. They don't know. So Cody respected Robin more because she came in with a higher level of self-respect, and he disrespected Christine all the time because she didn't really deserve it. She cooks and cleans and takes care of children. That's what she does. What does she do that deserves respect?
And the minute she started to demand a little bit, he's absolutely not. You be a better sister wife.
Right.
Then I'll give you, and she's like, all right, I'm out of here.
Well, and my dad did that a lot with my mom's, with his wives, is I'll respect this one because she respects herself, but I don't respect this one because she,
And she respects me.
Right.
And you're not respecting me right now, so.
Yeah. Twyla says, I hope your children, especially your daughters, know just how much you saved them from. I am sure they do. They just have so much to be grateful for because of you two. Thank you. Yeah, I hope that they never have to understand fully what we saved them from, because honestly, I never want them to know that level of self-doubt or self-deprecation or anything. I never want my girls to ever experience that. I don't think they ever have. Got some really strong girls. Let's see. I was so happy to hear Janelle say she wasn't playing a victim card. She just wanted her emotions and feelings respected. It's funny because a lot of people think that when you start to set boundaries, it hurts people. They get offended. They get like, oh, why are you having an attitude? You're having a problem. I'm like, no, you're just setting up your own boundaries. So yeah. Do they believe in getting IEPs for support for kids with special needs like autism, blindness, ADD? Yes, my brother had an IEP his whole entire life. Yeah, our son has our son has had an IEP with our son that's on the spectrum has had an IEP. So yeah, they'll definitely, if they go to public school. If they don't go to public school or they go to the church school, the church has their own different school, then yes. Let's see. I think that respected herself literally means that she looked hot. And probably for Cody in Sister Wives, I agree with you that it's aesthetically, he cared about that. And a lot of men really do. I'll tell this story again. It's kind of a darker story. Sorry. When the very first time I wanted to choose out of life, I had a attempt on my life, wanted to leave the earth, right? My mom came over the next morning to help me and was with me all day. And she was pregnant at the time with my Down syndrome brother. And she would have been about 7 months pregnant with him. And so she came to my home, she helped me, she was helping me clean, she was helping me take care of my children. And then she goes out with my dad later that night after she had she's still got 8 children at home on top of all this. And my dad was taking her downtown, I believe it was to a jazz game. And she got in the car and he looked at her and he goes, well, I can tell you prepared for tonight, didn't you? Type thing. And my mom's like, take me home right now. And she had been nurturing and taking care of me all day because I was, sad. And, but it mattered to my dad more that she looked good for where he was taking her. And she was like, just take me home, drop me off. I don't even want to go with you. Go get your wife that wears makeup all the time. And so, yeah, that it is important to a lot of these men. They do care more about what a lot of these women look like than who these women are, because it's reflective on them. So what are you smirking at? You got lost in a comment?
No, I was listening to you too, though. But...
Oh, shoot. I know. I'm telling dark secrets today.
No.
Let's see.
Jay Patel just said that, that's an ox and a moron. It's an oxymoron there.
Let's
Robin
see.
and hot in the same sentence.
Yeah. Somebody says, is she a sacred 10-cow wife or a 5-cow wife? So I did a video on 10-cow wives. So yeah, you could always go check that out if you want to. It's just a short little video. I think it was like 10 minutes long or something like that. Now
she can't cook.
What?
She can't cook.
She doesn't need to cook if she's pretty.
That's true.
Did you see that episode? I haven't seen the episode, but I saw a clip that's like, Robin's like, why do I have such a big kitchen? I think they were building their houses in Vegas or something. And he's like, it's okay. You don't need to learn how to cook. You're pretty.
Yeah. You'll need to take care of kids. We'll get you a nanny.
What a jackass.
Yeah.
Let's see. They use the word self-respect as code for how skinny and hot the wives are. I call BS on that self-respect stuff. I agree with you. I think it's sad. Mm-hmm. Now that Cody has the term abandonment over his head, will this affect him on finding more wives? Do you think he will take on another wife since Robin wants him to? I personally don't think he'll ever go back to the AUB. No. And I don't know if they would let him.
Yeah, I don't think the only time, when Robin leaves him, he might look for another wife. But he probably will never be a polygamist again. So
yeah,
I don't think he will.
We were saying this in our video too, that we were counting up how many men we know that have done what Cody Brown did, where they have come in, they've married a bunch of different women, and then they've left with one wife. And out of all of the dozens that we came up with, we literally only found one couple that might still be together, but we've lost track of that couple. We don't know. The rest of them, they have all gotten divorces. They've all split up. So for me, I look at Cody and Robin as it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
It's hard to be a polygamist and then go into a monogamous mentality. So she's pushing for more wives, things like that. He's not going to do it. He's a monogamist. He wants, it's going to be hard. It's hard for them to shift from polygamists to monogamists and So she gets to see him all the time. So
Yeah.
funny.
Let's see.
Yes, I am. Natural beauties.
What did you say?
My first and second wife were both natural beauties.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's why I try to put the. I'm not a makeup wearer. I don't like to wear makeup. I don't wear it very often.
I do.
Which is one of the reasons why I like to use a little bit of self tanner on my face. Is because I don't like makeup. Let's see. Robin doesn't respect herself, or she would never have married a man with 3 other wives. She's just snobby, holier than thou.
I agree.
Yeah.
The illusion of confidence. Yeah. No.
Yep. Oh.
No, I think she came in with a plan and she succeeded. So.
Right. Let's see. Christine is the center of the family. Cody hates her for this. In my opinion, Robin wishes she was. I think that's where you're having a lot of discontent between Christine and Robin, is for that exact reason. My mom was the center focal mother that everyone came to, so much like Christine.
It's about humor too.
Right.
Christine was so funny, had so much good, and Robin tried to be as funny, and she couldn't pull it off. So
yeah. Let's see. Okay, with so much essay, that happens if a girl unwillingly gets pregnant. So with so much essay, what happens if a girl unwillingly gets pregnant? That is a good question, because I know that happens a lot. Yeah, go for it. What do you think?
Miracle.
Oh.
It's a miracle.
We know of a couple of incidences where this has happened after the woman was married, and it's happened outside of her marriage. And so yes, it has caused a lot of problems. It causes a lot of problems. A lot of times these women are just quickly married off or rushed away from, or there's always a reason why. They do not, under any circumstances that I know of, believe in ending that pregnancy. So it has happened, and it does happen, and it's a hard one to answer, because I don't always know, because it's so hidden and so lied about, that we don't always know the outcome of it.
Thank the Lord for this blessing. Don't get a DNA test.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, Cory is lucky that his first, I'm going to read that same comment again. Without a makeup, I'm a 2 cow for Cody. 7 after me. That's funny. Let's see.
I think they're talking about Robin.
Oh, Robin. Oh, without her makeup on, she's a 2 cow with Cody. Yeah. Because the episodes that we just watched, we're on season 3, and we just watched episodes 6 and 7, I believe, and that's the one where they were putting makeup on camping. Like, how gross. And that's such a perfect depiction of how polygamy really is. You've got the ones that sit over there, like Cody's fixing his hair, and the other 2 wives are over there putting on makeup. And then you've got Christine and Janelle over here doing the work, and their children are doing the work. And Logan's cooking breakfast, and I'm just like, oh, it's infuriating, because my mom's kids were the workhorses. We were the ones that had to do everything. And so if you really ever saw a depiction of how polygamy really is, that camping scene nailed it. Because you have the wives that'll go in there and they work, and their kids work, and they do everything to keep the family functioning and the family fed. And then you've got the other people who are sitting off to the side, primping and getting themselves ready. And I mean, they need to look good for the part. So
I was lucky growing up. Our dad took us fishing. We went fishing with our dad and our brothers.
Yeah.
So it wasn't our mom Janelle taking us fishing, because our dad was over primping. So we were lucky.
Yeah.
I learned how to fish. So love it to this day.
Yeah.
Those kids learned to fish, loved it, but they learned it from their mom. So kind of shows you. Yeah. So
Okay, let's see. We're going to answer one or two more questions before we are going to wrap it up at 7 o'clock, well, in about 5 more minutes. Okay. Robin got pregnant before she married her first husband. I believe that's right. We're not not sister wives experts at all, because we haven't seen the show. But we definitely can give you guys our opinion on like why people do what they do. Do you have any friends you met when the AUB that have left and you guys are still friends with? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite a few. In fact, some of them have even been on the Sister Wives show. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people that we know. In fact, it's interesting. I've been even questioning this. There's a guy that we know that he left and some of his wives have left, but some of his other wives haven't left. And I'm not sure how that works. So we're still trying to figure out some of that.
Most of in my graduating class, in AUB, we went to 8th grade, and most of I think there is one guy, male friend of mine, that's still a part of the AUB. All the rest of them have left the AUB or been welcome to leave the AUB. So
yeah, right.
So yes, I'm friends with most of them. So
yeah, we definitely have really tried to stay close to a lot of different people that have come in and out of the AUB. What'd you say? What are you smirking at?
Nothing.
What?
Jay Patel's just doing it.
Oh, has Cory enjoyed seeing his dear friend of Alice in the Alice in the older episodes? Oh, that's funny.
I closed my eyes.
Oh yeah. I didn't know. It's so funny because I didn't know Robin or her family or anything before Sister Wives, and she comes on the screen and Cory's like, "Oh my gosh, this family is screwed." Let's see.
Not my friend. She's not my friend.
Okay, I think we got through most of these questions. Is the religion really about building up the self-esteem and strength and goodness of the man via the encouragement, while the women learn to overcome hardships? Absolutely. I would absolutely say that that's what it is. You're building this man up to be one day a god of his own planets, his own whatever. And that is your whole sole purpose, is to build him up and make sure that he develops all sides of himself.
Yep. Build up his kingdom, bring in more wives. Yeah. Everything is about creating this leadership, because he is the head of that family that you're a part of, that you get to rocket off into heaven at the end of your life. And so yes, it is all about building up the family, and he happens to be the head of the family.
Yeah.
So,
and your responsibility as the woman is to overcome your jealousies, to overcome your weaknesses. So yes, you're constantly trying to overcome your weaknesses, all while building up his strengths. So yeah, super fun, super like fair, it's all about that. So yeah, let's see. When Cody said Christine was never happy, I wish Suki had asked him, would you be happy if Robin was in love with another man and didn't love you? Yeah.
That would have been an excellent question.
I want to throw things at the TV when that man starts talking. He gets so, yeah.
He would use the same line with, well, that's disgusting. That's vulgar.
Yeah.
That you would even ask that question.
Dang it, there was one I was going to try to get to this one last question, and it jumped, and I missed it. Oh, Tanya says, I've been trying to figure out if Robin is okay with being married to a liar, and how she's okay with him removing her from their religion. I think eventually, in my experience, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, she will eventually start to resent him for this. And that will be one of the reasons that she leaves, is because she will resent him for taking her out. Now, when I left the AUB, I was 22 years old, and then I had a child that ended up having a heart condition, and I went back because I thought God was punishing me. I hear a lot of that same kind of verbiage from Robin when she says, we all failed. We didn't keep God enough in our lives. We didn't keep God enough in our experiences. And so I'm hearing a lot of the same things that I felt back then, like, oh, God's punishing me for leaving. I need to go back. I need to say how sorry I am, repent. And I did. I went back, said how sorry I was, got rebaptized, got my garments put back on me, and then stayed in the AUB till I was almost 26. And so I feel like I'm hearing that from Robin now. So I think eventually, yes, she will be very resentful to Cody for that. And if some major, heaven forbid, she loses a child or something like that, that could be a trigger point that makes her go, this is God punishing us. We got to go back. We got to do that. And that's typically what will happen with people who come from high controlled religious communities. So yes, somebody says, have you guys ever met the Dargers? Yep, I used to work with them for years. Joe Darger is the one who gave me a job and helped me get out of my last marriage. He was the one who helped keep me employed so that I could get out of there.
Good guy.
Yeah. So, okay, well, we are going to wrap up tonight. We can't do a 5-hour live like we've been doing in the past, but we will try to be going live more often. We appreciate all the support you guys have given our page. We appreciate all the shares and the likes and the interaction that we have had. We again will try to go live. We're going to start trying to get more on a regular schedule, like we were before. And then I know, like, again, my mom will be coming up here mid-June. I'm going to try to do a live while she's up here. And she won't come on camera quite yet, but she'll chirp in her 2 cents from the peanut gallery. And so, anything else you want to say?
Well, I was going to tell the story.
Go for it.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for helping us reach our goal. When I got excommunicated, came down here, my brothers and I all ran a carpet.
Oh, yes. Oh, you were wanting to talk about this.
Yeah, flooring. That's what we did when we were younger, is learn how to do flooring, and so we were installing carpet. So I actually have been in the AUB temple, not invited, well, not welcomed in through the front doors, but we installed the flooring in there for them while they were doing a quick remodel. And so yeah, I've actually been in their little thing, not in any official manner. They had to rededicate the place. Once they do some updates and things like that, apparently the good righteous people that could go through didn't have the skills to install flooring in there. So some of us Gentiles went and did the flooring, and then they would rededicate the building afterwards to do it. But yeah, we actually, my brothers and I went in there, and none of us have been officially through it, but we were got to install.
That's right. None of your brothers have officially.
No. None of the brothers that were in there. So we've been in there, just doing.
He knows what it looks like. He's never
work.
been through the actual ceremony part of it.
No, we just went in there to make it look nice so that these guys could do it. So
yeah, so that I could go through. Thanks, love.
Yeah,
you're so nice for me.
Yeah, so
yeah. So there you go. There's a little bit of piece of the AUB. Hopefully, you guys, if you have any other questions, drop them in our comments. You can always email us, and we'll probably do another Q&A session because we've been getting a lot more comments lately. So yeah, we'll probably do another Q&A here soon. And thank you guys again. We always appreciate all the support and love that you guys show our channel, and thanks for sharing it. We're growing like crazy, and we really do appreciate all of that.
You guys.
So everyone have a wonderful evening. Watch for us. We'll be coming again live next week. And here we go. Thank you, Marie Eddy. Thank you for that super chat there right at the end. I appreciate that. Everyone have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thanks guys.